Right, welcome to this very special tutorial here that a lot of people are asking me, how do you make those special smoke effect markers in your games? You'll see them in the games of 40K that we play. Really nice looking markers to indicate a burning or wrecked or destroyed vehicle. It's just something that I've sort of made up myself, and I think they look so much better than just turning the vehicle upside down or just standard cotton wool. It actually adds a really nice burning effect, and they're quite straightforward to make. So what I'm going to do is going to run through the materials that you need. So the first thing that you'll need is just some coins, and these will be your base, and you want a few of them. So these are equivalent to sort of a 2p. They're just old coins, these ones, but they're equivalent to sort of a 2p piece. So you'll want some of those. And then some copper wire. Copper wire is good because it's got some bend in it. If it flexes, then it won't snap as easy as other types of wire. So just some copper wire, sort of not too thin, not too thick, and you'll see how we use that later on. And just some normal cotton wool. You can easily get that from your local supermarket. And then the important ingredient, and that's stuffing that's used in teddy bears, or it's used in furniture, for furniture, cushions and so on. I got a whole bag of this from a furniture workshop. It was laying about all over the floor, and I just asked the guy if I could take some, and he gave me a whole carry bag full. But I'm sure you can pick it up from furniture warehouses. Furniture repair shops would have it, or you can just buy it new from somewhere, like on eBay perhaps. But it's not as dense as cotton wool. Cotton wool is more of a dense kind of stuff, which is handy for what we're doing. And then this stuff, which is, you can see through it quite well. It's got sort of thinner properties to it. It's perfect for making smoke effects. So those are the 4 ingredients that you need. And then just for materials, to make it, you'll need PVA glue. So you get a hold of some of that. And then you can have super glue as well. Activator if you want it to dry quicker. I use the Gal Force 9 super glue. You get a nice big amount of it in there. Right, and then for sprays, 2 sprays that I use, just Games Workshop Chaos Black spray paint, and then you want a mid to light grey spray. I've got here Uniform Grey by Army Painter. It's not dark grey, it's not light grey, it's just sort of a standard medium grey shade. So you need those 2 sprays. And then for paints, you just want a red. I'm going to use blood red. And then you want blazing orange. And then I'm using Flash Gitz yellow, just 3 paints. You don't have to bother with the orange if you don't want it. You can just use red and yellow to mix them together. It's no problem at all. But those are the materials that you need to put this together, and we're going to make a start now and show you how to put these smoke markers together. But they're very effective. I think they look really nice, and it's worth the effort. You can make a set of about 10, and that would do you for most of your games. I'm going to show you the first stage coming up now. Right, so the first thing you want to do is to get the base sorted out. And it's important that it has some weight to it, and that's what the coins are for. You can use anything that you want. I like coins because they're cheap enough. You can get out-of-date coins, some old foreign coins, whatever. And that's your base. It's not going to be seen in the game. It'll be covered up. So whatever it is needs to be heavy or have some kind of weight to it. And then what we want to do is you want a nice strong join between them. 1 coin I find isn't enough. You want enough weight so that the smoke is going to come out of here and then be weighed down. It's not going to move around. So I found that 3 coins would be enough generally to give it a nice amount of weight. And all I'm going to do simply is I'm going to super glue them together. That'll give me a nice strong bond there. So we put the glue just in there, it's coming out of the edges. It's going to give us a very good, nice strong bond. Bit of glue on there, and then that's going to join that nicely together. So those coins are nicely lined up. Give it a press, and then just to speed things along, I'm just going to put a bit of activator on there. And that's just going to dry up nicely for us. That's it. There's your base there. There's a nice bit of weight to that. Probably 2 coins might do it, but I'm going to put 3 in. It means I can put it at an angle and it will sit still. And that's the most important thing. It's just going to be an anchor, this one. It's not going to be seen as the rest of it's put together. Right, the next stage, you've got your base in place. And I use copper wire in the centre of the explosion. Number of reasons behind that. We're going to put it on here as an anchor point, and then it acts as something for you to attach your smoke to. You'll be able to put your smoke in between here, glue it in, and then that will act as an anchor point. And the good thing about copper wire is that you will be able to adjust your explosion. You can have it going straight up, you can point it at an angle, you can do what you want with it, even when it's completely finished, and even during a game. You've got that ability to move it around a little bit. It just adds a bit of strength. It will help it keep its shape. If you don't have that, you'll build it up and it'll flop over. That just adds a bit of strength and structure to the actual burning wreck itself, the burning marker itself. Now, you take as much as you want. The longer it is, you're taking a piece and doubling it over. The longer it is, then the bigger your burning wreck marker is going to be. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to do a small one, so I'm going to just cut this here, but basically the bigger that is, you can do it as tall or as long as you want, and then that will add the height that you want to it. So cut my wire in half here. So this is the piece I'm going to use. I just fold it in half like this, and then this is going to be quite a small marker, this one. And you want a variety of sizes. If you've got a big vehicle that's been destroyed, you want a nice large explosion marker for it. If you've got a smaller vehicle, then use a smaller one. And you can combine them together as well. You could put a couple of smaller ones on the same wreck as well. And what I've done is I've made a flat base here. I've bent the 2 pieces of wire out, straightened them out. And it's these that are going to come in contact with the base here. Just using my thumb to get it in position. And then to hold that in place, I'm going to use super glue. And I would advise you use a nice amount. I'm going to flood it around those 2 prongs, like so. So you can see it there. And then just holding it in place. I'm going to put my activator on there. Handy stuff, this speeds everything up. Put that setting straight away. Now there's a lot of glue on there, so we want it to go off nice and strong before we move on to the next stage. You want to build something that lasts, and a good super glue is going to anchor that metal against metal, and then a nice flooded amount of super glue in between should give you a nice longer hold there. That's gone on nice and strong. So you can see that it's quite quick going. Yeah, that's not moving at all. And you've got your bracket here that you can feed your cotton wool into. But you want some nice strength there. I'm just going to add a little bit more glue just to strengthen it. There's no harm. You don't want these breaking, you want them to last a while. So I'm just going to flood the top of the coin here with the glue, just to give it a nice surface area to grip onto. I think that will help. And we'll just put some activator on there to help that go off. So that's that bit done. You can imagine if you're doing a batch of 10, you just do your coins, you do your, you choose the different lengths of your wire, make a nice variety, and then have them all set out. Very, very quick and easy to do. Right, next stage is the cotton wool. So you've got your base, you've glued in place your copper wire there, and it's a bit open. The next glue you want to use, really, I use PVA glue. It's good for joining the cotton wool to itself. So I'm going to feed some cotton wool through the gap here. I'm just going to work it in between this gap that I've made. I'm just creating an anchor point here. That's well and truly in there. I'm going to run PVA along the joint. There's no fixed way of doing this, you can do it however you want. The emphasis is just a good strong join. That's what you're after. Now this is a bit mucky. The glue's not always going to go where you want it to go at this stage. But you want the cotton wool to stick there nicely. That's gone on quite well, that's gone on nicely. Then I'm going to take a bit more cotton wool here and you're sort of working it a little bit. I'm going to puff it out a little bit. And I'm going to stick some on here. And that PVA will stick it to itself nicely. I'm just creating just sort of a puffy effect. And this is the core of the burning explosion. So it's important that you get this bit nicely shaped. And I'm happy with that. You don't want lots of PVA showing on the outside of this. You want all the PVA covered up with the stuff. So the PVA is inside there now and it's covered up nicely by that cotton wool. Then around the base I want to seal in the cotton wool to the base. So I'm applying PVA to the cotton wool and to the base and then just working it in with my finger there. And at this point, this is where the flames will be. So I'm not worried too much about PVA being on the outside. The important thing is that I seal in this cotton wool. I don't want it breaking away and tearing up in games. So I'm just rubbing it into the base there. And that's going to give me a good grip to that bit there. But you can imagine again this bit getting scuffed and the cotton wool moving up. We don't want that, so I'm just sealing it in around the base. And that's about it. That's sealed in nicely. The edge is neat. There's no spare bits of cotton wool hanging off, and it's all glued in nicely and just sitting there. But that's starting to take shape. Take that spare bit away. And you just build it up. Now I've angled it, there's a slight angle to that, not too much. You angle it as much as you want, or you can do them straight up and then angle them after. You've got that option with the copper wire there. So that's that. Yeah, I would advise, you don't have to, but I would say just let it dry before you apply the next stage. And then that will make it easier to handle and to apply the next layer of the smoke effect. Right, so the next stage of the smoke effect, it's dried out quite nicely here. Base is nice and solid, and the glue has attached itself here nicely. It's all blended in, so it's looking good. Next stage, well, it's the final stage for constructing this, and that's adding on this furniture or this cushion stuffing. Sort of a thinner stuff. If you spread it out, you can see that you can almost see through it. And you're just looking to apply it. You want to run it up the sides of the plume, and then you want a bigger sort of puff at the very top. So it's just a case of working with it. You're looking to break it up a little bit. You want to break up any artificial sort of lines or form, and then just with PVA glue you're just adding it to the burning wreck there. So just added some PVA on top, and now I'm just going to work in up all of this stuff. You just wiggle it in until it's made good contact with the glue. That looks pretty good. Then we're going to add some more to the other side. So it's the denser stuff towards the bottom, and then you're thinning it out towards the top. I'm going to put quite a large puff on here. Working it in. Looks quite good there. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit in this gap here. Again, some PVA glue. Just a little bit. Like that. Looks alright. Now what I do is run the stuff all the way down to the base as well. Don't just cotton wool there. This stuff will look good. Just breaking up that cotton wool as well. You'll see that when we come to the actual painting of this. It's quite fiddly, so I've dropped it there, but it should be alright. Another bit just here. Stretch up your fingers and spread it out. Now it'll be quite unstable until that glue dries. Once that glue dries, it will hold it in place. Shouldn't be any problem. I'm going to run a little bit down here as well. I'm just working that in. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that's coming out. So there's like a thin haze of the stuff now over the top of the cotton wool. So the cotton wool's there in the centre of the burning wreck, but it's dominated here by this stuff. And I'm just playing around with it till it's right. Quite happy with that actually. And I'm just going to PVA around the edge here. Where it's sticking out, I want to work it in with my finger. Just around the base. I want that nice and plush against the coin. Just glued in nicely. It doesn't matter if the PVA is visible here. It gives something for the paint to go on. It'll look like flames that are licking up from the surface of the burning explosion. Now you see this PVA, it's quite hard to see because it's white. But there's PVA lumps and bits all in amongst that fluff. Now that'll look good when you come to painting that. That'll look like flames jumping out from the explosion, so don't have any worries about that. And it will add strength to the base as well. So it's a bit of a fiddle, you get glue all over it. But the result is worth it in the end. Just more PVA here. I'm just using my finger just to work in this fluff here. And then just a bit around the base here, just to work it all in. And this seals it quite nicely. And just make it nice and neat. And a little bit of patience, that will all come together. So it looks good. Just going to rest it on something that hopefully it won't glue itself to it. And that will sit there now, and that will take a while to dry. There's a lot of PVA on that, PVA inside it as well, so I might just leave that till tomorrow before I take that any further. You don't want it falling apart on you just because of a bit of impatience, but if you do about 10 of them and just do that for all of them, leave them out, and that's your next stage done, and then you'll be ready to move on to the final painting and finishing effects on the burning marker. Right, so we're just outside here, and we're going to move on to the spraying. So what I've got is just a glove on, because you're going to be spraying near to your hands, so just wearing a latex glove just to save the mess. So that's the smoke marker there, all glued into position, and then we're just looking to colour it. So the first colour that I'm going to use to spray it is Army Painter, and it's the uniform grey, and we're just going to give the entire counter a spray with this colour. So you're looking to catch it from all the angles, and you'll see that starts to fill out the colour on the counter there, and the spray penetrates quite deep, so it starts to cover up that white quite nicely, and you just spray it so that it covers it nicely till all the white's gone, rotating it round, and you just keep spraying till you're satisfied you've covered all the white areas. So that's gone on quite nice. We've turned that from white, which didn't look right, to a nice grey colour, and you can see that's kind of a smoke effect to it, so that's looking good. So that's your grey done, looking nice. Next stage is to take Chaos Black, and then you want to spray the base part, and then you want the black effect to come up underneath the smoke, just to create a better smoke effect. And that's just observing real explosions and fireballs. It's usually a lighter colour at the top, and then like a thick belching kind of smoke that comes up underneath, usually really black. So I'm going to spray the black underneath. Make sure I'm covering the base, I want that black, and then just up underneath here. Now that's gone on quite well. Priority is that base, I want that nice black colour. Okay, so now if I turn that, you can see that the black is underneath, and then on top is still that light grey, and that is a nice smoke effect there. So that's all the spraying you're going to do. So then now we're going to go on to just some finishing colours, but you can see now that that is a nice looking smoke effect there. Just a little bit more black, just to make sure it's nice and solid at the bottom. But that's done, and you can see why you need the gloves as well. Just saves a lot of mess. So you just put that one down, let it dry solidly, and then we're going to go on to the final stage of this smoke effect. Right, so that's the spraying done. Explosion's looking really good. Now if you wanted just a smoke marker, then you could just leave it as it is, but we want this to be a burning wreck. That is, that the vehicle's been destroyed and the fire and the smoke are pouring out of it. So to build that up, you just take an old brush. This is about the biggest one I've got. It's a wash brush here. You can use something bigger if you want. And then you want to build up the layers. So I go for red first, and you just dab it on. I'm going to cover the base, and then I work it up through the burning marker. So you'll see how that it nicely spreads out. Now you just apply the more flames that you want, then the more colour that you add. So I'm just taking the base here and then working the colour up. So I'll show you on the other side. So thicker at the bottom, and then just running it up and fading it out so that those flames are flicking up there and then running in through the smoke, just like real firewood. It would mix itself with the belching smoke coming up from the burning wreck. So very, very easy technique. It's fast to make these, but highly effective. And you just make about 10, and that will be all you need. You make them of varying sizes, and once they're done, they'll last you for years, and it'll have that nice effect. I think it's really worth doing. I'm just flicking some of the paint right up into the explosion here. There's no harm. I'm just rotating the burning marker all the way around, just to make sure I've got all the areas. Now it's up to you. I've got orange here. You can go to orange if you wish. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of orange. Because the red paint is still wet here, I'm just going to go straight on with yellow. And you'll see that as I add the yellow, I sort of half mix it in with the red and it becomes orange anyway. And this just adds even more life. If you look at real fire, it's mixed with yellow. So it's just to make it realistic. Here, so dab it around, and don't mix it purely, just leave the dabs to give it that rippled effect, again making it look like real fire. So you've got your fire erupting from the base and then the belching smoke flowing up from that, which is exactly what you want. I'm just rotating it around. Again, such an easy technique, you don't need to be skilled at painting to do this. You're just dabbing the colour on to make that smoke effect. And I'm really happy with how this is coming out. Just going to roll the colour up into the smoke there, and then just filling it out. Just going to put a bit more colour into here. There. That's looking really good. Yeah, I'm happy with how that's come out. So the flame, see the flames erupting there, and then that's sort of mixed in with the smoke here. There's a bit of orange just to add. Now you can, as I said, you can add as much or as little as you want, but I think that looks pretty good. And you can see the fire shooting up. You've got your darker black belching smoke here, and it fades out to the grey, which is the effect that you want. But there it is, and I think that looks pretty good. And then it balances itself because you've weighed it down with the coins there. So I can then spread this top bit out a bit. Any parts that you notice that are white, if it opens out, just add a little bit of spray. You'll also find that after a year or two of using these, they get duffed about a bit, so you can retouch up your paint and you can give them a respray and just continually use them. They'll last as long as you look after them, don't squash them too much. They will last you for years and years and years, and they'll be a nice enhancement for the games. Right, so there's the finished burning wreck marker. The paint's dried there nicely. You can give it a coat of varnish if you want. I'm not sure whether that's wise. You don't want to clog up the effect on here, and that can happen with varnish sometimes. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. And you can see the flames looking up from the base there, and then they're moving up through the smoke. Looks really good. And then just to use it, you take a tank. I've just recently finished one of these Rhino transports for my Imperial Fists, and then with the weight of it, you just, when the vehicle's destroyed, you put it on top. If there's a hatch, and you can take off the turret and then place the burning marker on top as well. So I think that looks really effective, so much better than plain cotton wool. You can use it a number of ways. You can bring the explosion down at the front and move the burning marker over the top. You can add multiple ones to really give some impact. If it's something like a flyer, then you can remove it from off of its base. Place the marker down, you can bend it with the copper inside, and then just place it over the top of the burning vehicle as well, so you've got something like that. Another thing that you can do is to take spare fluff here, and you can give that a spray of grey and just have it loose, just to add to your explosion as well if you really want to blend it all in, and then that helps mix it up. But spray it grey, and then it will match the explosion marker that you have there. So there it is, burning wreck markers. I think they're really effective, very easy to put together. Advise you just to make a batch of 10, won't take you too long, and then the effects, I think it's well worth the effort putting in. So that's how you make it, easy peasy. Thanks for watching the video, and check out other painting tutorials that I have on the channel, and the army showcases and battle reports and all sorts going on. But that's that tutorial for you. Hope it comes in handy and is something that can enhance your games of Warhammer 40,000. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.